Easy peasy. Bow, 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 bow. What are we gonna listen to? What are we gonna listen to? This took a minute to process it, so funny. What are we gonna listen to? Alright, what are we gonna listen to? Oh, I need glasses. I need glasses. Paris. Oh, you bought it already? Okay, cool. Cool. I think you should be one of the main four. All right, we got Frankel's in VC, but he's working, so he might not talk too much. Okay, I put Wordle all the way at the top of everything. I think I fixed most things. You're so tired? What are you so tired about? Also, this should be working. This is good. This is working. Okay. Am I getting in fights? I'm always in fights. What do you mean? I live in fights. I breathe and die in fights. Breathe and die in fights. What are you working on, Jocks? What run are you doing? I feel like you didn't stream for a couple of days that you usually do or something. Am I tripping on that? What did you end up doing, dude? Worked, got a haircut. Gotcha. All right. Okay. Hitless is a whole other thing, you know. It's so fun. It's so hard, man. Haha, true. Okay. Oof, I hate that, dude. Oh, hell yeah, dude. I know that feeling, that being nocturnal feeling. What am I looking at here? Try to get this going first. All right, now looking good. God damn it, I forgot everything. Hold on, I'll be back in 1 second. Hacky, always describe, never explain, dude. It's time to do some explaining, dude. Hawk Tua, dude. Hawk freaking Tua, dude.
Shout out freaking Smoker
Smokey, dude. What's up, dude? How's your run, Smokes? I was chilling in the background for a little bit, but Michael Wayne's growing. His sleepy stuff has changed a bit, and it's been a whole learning thing, dude. Been good, dude. Just been fucking writing these, writing them vidges, dude. Writing them vidges. Playing golf. Also, you should buy golf, Smokey. Yeah, I was once hitting Yargle. That's how it goes. Yeah, it's called Golf with Your Friends, and it's really, really, really bad, terrible game that nobody likes. Sick. We've been playing it for about 3 hours a day on stream. I need to change. I wonder if I can edit. I don't know anything about YouTube, man. Oh, I can. Golf Gang, what's that? I'm definitely down to check it out. Okay, what's up, Pedro? I think we've got a new angle. Death into Power. Yeah, dude, I miss watching lore videos so much, Gunslinger. I'm so glad that you guys come and tell me about videos. Like, I haven't been watching any lore videos because I like don't want to get my own thoughts really like super tainted. I have some stuff that I want to say. So like we've done a few like in-depth runs, right? And now I have this set of broad. Oh shit! Yeah, we've got this set of kind of broad ideas. Life into energy is interesting. It's definitely not what the Crucible does necessarily. I guess kind of. Kind of. But I want to explain some Elden Ring stuff. I don't want to describe Elden Ring stuff. And it seems like everybody is describing things. And I want to explain them. Yeah. Like everybody's describing things and I want to explain them. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go look at this big dumbass. Hit me, Paris. I did, Pedro. I thought that he did an okay job, but I am very unhappy with it. Yeah, so his axe is not originally his axe. His axe belongs to, well, it might be, but his axe is a Crucible axe. And it was broken in the wars. And something that's really interesting about the break, as you can see, some really cool shit in here. Let's see if I can get a good shot at it. But obviously, Godfrey is as crucible as it gets, as crucible as they come. We need to look at him a little bit more carefully with a new lens. Because I think Godfrey hasn't actually been explored very well. So in the Max Dura video, only watched the first like half of it. The projection by Morgott and Goldfree, it isn't broken. It happened after the exile. That is interesting, actually. That's a really, really good point, Smoker. So, it's not really an argument, is the thing, Gunslinger. It's a description. Also, thanks, Shaka. For my nose job, dude, I know I need one badly. Actually, I have to, probably get, It's basically a nose job, but I have to get sinus surgery probably. I've had like a sinusitis that won't go away for like 6 months now. I'm not looking forward to it. So it's more of a description, right? It's more of a description, right? They don't, the idea that all of them, shucks. No, it's all good. So the Mercury stuff is long-standing, right? The Mercury and Caduceus stuff is long-standing, too. But these are just inspirations for these things. They don't explain those things. They don't explain the mechanics of it. They don't explain how they can be shared processes when they stand at odds with each other, given the nature of the outer gods to which they kind of relate. Doesn't explain where it comes from, how it's made, how it gets put together. It's not like Verdigris or Verdigris or whatever, where it's like, this is a gift from an outer god, right? Nothing is explained. It's all just descriptive conjecture. And so it's not really a narrative. It's not really a story. It's not really any of these things. What's up, Lexi? And so I'm unsure what to think about it. I've been really trying to stay away from the alchemy stuff because it seems obviously true that certain aspects of the game are inspired by it. But it doesn't seem obviously true to me that any aspects of the game... Also, why is this on? It doesn't seem obviously true to me that any aspects of the game are explained by it. Welcome, Prof. We love you. What plants crave. Also, I love that name. What's up, Alexander? Dude, I love that name. But just creating mass death doesn't give you the ability to, like, there's a misstep there, right? Like it might be partially true. Also, I want to show you guys something that I haven't seen in any videos that I really want to put into something. Okay, so Sirash is a little half boy, right? Sirash is chopped in half. Yeah, exactly, Pedro. Exactly. Dude, nobody knows where he went, Quanny. Your boy, dude. Sirash is holding on with hands, 5-fingered hands, with his eyes closed, yeah? So he's wearing armor, which is cool. Is he wearing the same armor as Godfrey? Is he wearing the same crown as Godfrey? No, right? Yeah, no. He's actively holding him back, yeah. He's like wounding him on purpose, right? Yeah. Hold on, let me get out of here. Not armor, maybe crown, could be. Like literally 10 minutes ago or something? 15 minutes ago. I don't know, not long. Literally just getting going. I'm gonna start recording some stuff while we're at it. So when I record, just so you guys know, it switches like this, and then comes back, and then you'll lose sound for a second, and then I'll record, and then I'll be back. It's like the best way to get quick shots. And then if you wanted to, you could always go watch the shots back on YouTube, which is always fun. Okay, give me 1 second here. Dude, I am not very good at videography, dude, and I've been trying really hard to like feel it, dude, and really feel the vibe and something. So before I started streaming on YouTube, I really like we would just do this on Twitch. We'd do basically this whole thing on Twitch. And I think people really enjoyed recording the shots with me, and then seeing the shots back in the video. And so, like, the way that I've been doing it is to find, like, the shot that I want in the end, and then kind of just, like, running it back as far as I can. So, like, there's something here, right? So I'm going to go in front of the thing so that I get a good shot, and then we kind of get the thing, right? It's just a vibe, dude. It really is, dude. Yeah, right, Pedro? Yeah. It's cool, man. It's cool. So tell me more about that, Pedro. Also, what's up, rank? All right, here we go. One more. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice. Game company in Brazil is... Oh, I see. Cool. You can condense vitality from a person into energy. I think that's right. I don't think that's right. I think that the energy doesn't turn into people in the same way as it does in the Erd Tree thing. So I have some stuff to say. I want to say, I don't know why I have a, I don't need this. I want to say, the lore of Elden Ring is incredibly different to decipher. What's TAS? I think there is. My video editor sent it to me, but I do kind of everything by hand. I just get multiple shots until I get it right, and it's a fucking huge pain in my ass. I know there's one that has, I know there's one that has a, what you call it, oh shit, what's up, Bobby Bob? What's up, Raiders? What are you doing, Bobby? I know there's one that has like an anchor rail, basically. Taking the many and pouring it into the few is, it doesn't take the many and put it into the few, right? It takes the many and makes new many with shared aspects. The stuff about the ancestral spirits, the ancestral followers, and all that stuff. Yeah. I'm not buying that. I haven't watched it, but I'm not buying it out the gate. That'd be a tough sell for me. So I want to make a kind of, like a kind of philosophical statement about lore method, and I want to reveal an underlying dynamic of the whole game. And it's a mechanic that helps us to understand every aspect of the game without putting square pegs in round holes and hitting it really hard. Something akin to doing what Aristotle calls first principles, which is just standard metaphysics. Very early metaphysics. For Aristotle, first principles are the idea that moving away from Plato, we have these things that are like the forms. And then Aristotle says you can't just have forms without stuff, right? You gotta have stuff, and stuff becomes formed. You can have the same stuff that's formed the same way and put it in two different places, it becomes two different things. Or so he talks about like the top of a door and the bottom of a door, and they do the same thing, but they have different names, right? He talks about this in one of his very first kind of short writings called The Categories. It's time to do that. It's time to do it carefully, Rexy, without being overloaded. What's up, Queenie, dude? I feel like I haven't seen you in fucking 10 million years. Haha, what's up, creep? I swear I brought... I always swear I bring something to blow my nose with, and I never fucking do, dude. So the idea of doing kind of metaphysics from first principles is to say something like, or to say something like we want to understand what actually is and what its possible and probable kind of conditions are, so that when we use words, we know what we mean, right? And so he says stuff like, it's one thing for a property to be of something, and it's another thing for a property to be in something. For example, the property of being ensouled is something that a person has. Like it's a property of you that you are ensouled currently. Otherwise, you wouldn't be a human being. He says, but say you don't go outside for 2 weeks. A property in you would be paleness. And that property could leave you. It could come out of you. And a property that could come into you would be like tanness. Something like that, exactly. And so I think we need to do first principles on this game. And it starts with splitting stuff. Ah, shit. What the f is up, Raiders? Everybody look at Noger. Oh, also everybody look at Bob. My stuff isn't working and say hi. What are you guys doing, dude? What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? How is the rest of everything? Also, Noger, if you need some traffic and you want some traffic, put your new website up. What's up, Raiders? I'm Prof. My friends call me Prof. You can call me Prof. There is no underground justice that calls me Prof. They do charge membership fee. I do not recommend it. We are currently working on our newest script, and it's a kind of thing that helps to explain the duality of kind of everything in Elden Ring. It's going to help us continue to piece together the true timeline of the occurrences of Elden Ring, which is really tough. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what it is, Gunslinger. Star Wars Oreos? I have no idea about this. The recent ones have been pretty engaging. That's so funny, dude. Cool. Lore Day, dude. Lore Day. And then tomorrow is Thursday. Tomorrow is probably Bloodborne, and then Friday and Saturday we'll finish scripting, and then Sunday I'm gonna play something stupid. I don't know what. I'm just gonna play something stupid. And then Monday we'll finish recording this video. So I want to say something like this. The lore of Elden Ring is incredibly difficult to decipher. Once we begin to make heads or tails of this or that, a new question arises. Once we find a solution for this, a new problem is posed, wondering about that, right? Ah, Lobo. Dude, I hate it when that happens. It happened to me the other day, Falcon. I freaked the fuck out, dude. Karen, so good to see you. And so I want to say something about the nature of lore without sounding like an asshole to other creators, basically. And I don't really know how to do that yet, so I'm just gonna say it how I want to say it, and we'll fucking deal with that part later, right? Where we actually sort out not being an asshole. It definitely doesn't help, dude. So I want to say something. I think about semiotics a lot too, dude. Semiotics, are you in Twitch? Yeah, that's the idea, Ravnos. Exactly. That's what we're at. That's what we're gonna do. So I want to say this means that a lot of lore turns out to be descriptive instead of explanatory. In short, a lot of statements like this is like this, not this is like this because. I will definitely do that, Karen. That's the idea, Hack. That's the idea. It's time to be careful. And so the problem is that the explanatory or how do I want to say it? I'm trying to be like philosophical without sounding without being too philosophical that people don't understand, right? So this means that a lot of lore turns out to be descriptive instead of explanatory. In short, a lot of statements in different lore videos turn out take the form this is like this and not this is like this because, right? For some reason I read that as hello cucks Ranka, and I thought that was so funny, dude. Problem is that statements in the form of this is like this aren't helpful. We already know this is like this. What we want to know, of course, is why. On one hand, Elden Ring is a game, a work of art, and so we can always wave our hands and say that this is like this because Miyazaki intended it to be. This isn't satisfying in the least. On the other hand, we can dismiss certain kinds of inquiry by saying this is an oversight. It's not like this for any particular reason. This is also incredibly unsatisfying. In order to make heads or tails of this or that, both of these have to be dismissed. Exactly. And inductive logic is good and fine, right? It's good and fine, right? Yeah, it makes me angry too. It's the philosophically angry stuff, right? It's the philosophically angry stuff, and so we have to get a draft of this. We have to get a draft going that at least says the things that I think need to be said, and then we can cut it down. Oops, we can cut it down properly and appropriately later, right? There's a lot of dishonest analysis. There's a lot of people putting out. Are you saying what I'm saying is doing that? Because for sure what I'm saying is doing that. This is the problem, right? This is the problem. I'm gonna come off like an asshole if I'm not careful, but it still feels like it's something that I want to kind of say. Oh yeah, no, definitely. And this is like one of my major gripes with my discipline is that people do this, right? And so I am kind of writing to philosophers on one hand, and I'm writing to lore theorists on another. Especially sociology. And so it's just my way of that's what I don't want to do. That's what I don't want to do, Creep. I don't want to get into aesthetics, because that's what's up, Giggy. That's like the opposite of what I'm trying to do. Right? I'm trying to get quickly to the point of saying, like, look, like when you go and look for this, I also advocate for being frank. This guy, yeah, dude, that guy can be a real fucking asshole, dude. I've had so many papers not published because people thought that I was trying to be an asshole on purpose, and I'm like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'm just like trying to like say the thing that needs to be said, right? And so I want to up the stakes a little bit, right? If I ask somebody, why do you think that alchemy is a major playing theme in Elden Ring? Yeah, okay, cool, yeah. You know, if I ask you, like, why do you think this, right? and you tell me, exactly. If you tell me, well, there's a red queen, or there's a red king and a white queen. Yeah. You know, you tell me, well, there's a red king and a white queen, and I tell you, well, maybe, right? But like, America's clearly the golden queen, right? Yeah, that is something I'm definitely not doing in these Noger. I am staying far. I am officially not even watching fucking lore videos because I don't want to have to do that. Which I really miss watching. It feels weird not to boot up YouTube first thing in the morning when I'm having coffee and watch whatever bullshit is out. And so it's weird. It's weird. Dude, I can't wait to hear it, dude. There's always confirmation bias, and there's always this desire to be right, and there's always this kind of So I originally wanted to say, I originally wanted to call this video a letter to the community, a letter to the lore community, but I think that's the wrong way to go about it. I think the better way to go about it is to lead by example and say something interesting about something starting from first principles. And the first principles are that this game is a game about cooperation versus competition. And that fundamentally, every single aspect, it does sound like a scolding, every single aspect, this is my job, right, Creep? This is like literally what I do for money. And I love writing, right? I love writing. It's a game about game theory. That's right. It's a game about game theory. That's exactly what it is. It's a game about probability. It's a game about game theory. But game theory is really hard. When I teach game theory classes, oh my fucking god, Gigs. You're a genius. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Oh my god. How come I didn't come up with that, dude? You're a genius, Gigs. What's up, con man? It's hard. It's hard, Creep. There's definitely this. There's definitely this going on, Ravnos. I haven't thought of jolly cooperation in this context, but that makes me feel really good. So I tend to think about things in very narrow context, even when I think about them very widely. So sometimes I'll forget about things that are obvious, right? Which is good, because then it means like, oh yeah, of course, there's this thing that everybody does, right? So like the last time I did that was I was writing a paper about cost-benefit analyses, and it was during COVID, and I was at my vaccine, and the lady who was giving me my vaccine was like, oh, what do you do? You know, like shit, you know, talking shit, whatever. And I was like, oh, you know, I teach philosophy. And she goes, what are you working on right now? I will. And I was like, oh, I'm working on this kind of cost-benefit analysis stuff and about how we have to trade certain costs, but it's based on what we want the outcome to be, not based on what our resources tend to be, and that we project what kind of resources we ought to accumulate based on the cost-benefit analysis we make up front, instead of the other way around. I'm working... So this is the idea, Ravnos. So if I can get this... So if I can get these videos are already doing quite well, right? If I can get 10 of them to do 50k plus, I can bring this... small talk to fill the dead air. What's up, Resu? Exactly. And we were talking about, you know, this kind of stuff. And she goes, oh, like screening versus diagnosis. And I was like, tell me more about this. And she was like, for example, if you came in today and you were like, hey, I'm feeling this, in this way, and I looked at you, I would just offer you a screening. If I wrote it down for what we had to do in the waiting room, I would tell the doctor, you just need to screen this person. Nothing about you screams that I need to use up the resources in the future that are required from your insurance, right? In order to, shucks. In order to, yeah, Elden Con, dude. In order to kind of make sure that you're okay, right? You just need to be screened for the things. And the screening process is very quick, very dirty, very like bang, 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 bang. And then we know whether or not we need to make a diagnosis according to screening. Some people, it's very obvious that they need a diagnosis right away. She was like, the crux of our medical system is that people don't understand the difference between screening and diagnosis. And a lot of times we diagnose people who just needed to be screened. And a lot of time we screen people that needed to be diagnosed. And so ultimately I want to teach a course about first principles, right? Yeah, I thought it made sense too. And so that became my kind of like fundamental example in that paper. And it was during COVID, right? And so it was, yeah, it makes so much sense, right? Yeah. It became my kind of fundamental example, and I used it over and over and over in different ways. And it was about when we say we know how to do something, when we feel like we can accurately screen versus diagnose, the amount of energy we need to put into practice, right? It was really cool. It was really cool. It was a really cool paper. I really liked it. Yeah. And so, but the cool thing about it was that it was really about this like way of projecting the required allocated resources in the future instead of looking at the resources we have and saying like, should we do this, right? No, it's really cool, man. It's really cool. And so so what I want to do is eventually I want to teach a class on first principles in video game structures, like so basically like Aristotelian study of video games. And I would use Elden Ring as a kind of primary example, and we'd go through and we'd do all the kind of stuff in real time, right? Oh, dude, cool as fuck. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Dude, physics is hard. The physics that I got into is philosophy of physics. So, philosophy and geometry of space-time, Minkowski space-time, light cones and stuff like that. And kind of, relativity of access and perception and things like that. But yeah, totally, exactly, agree. And so what I want to do here is I want to, do I have inroads with successful developers? Not yet. But soon. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of that going on, dude. I know what those are, dude. It is indeed Wednesday, dude. Physics is so hard, dude. It's crazy how hard physics is. Dude, there's so much good shit. I can send you the PDF that I used last time I taught the seminar, not the whole class on that. And I just did up through like turning vector spaces into metric affine spaces. Basically, how do we go from a basically like non-dimensional two-dimensional expression of something to actual three-dimensional space? How do we make that happen, right? And we do it by taking vector spaces and transforming them into metric affine spaces. Which means nothing to probably most, but that's how you do it. That's how you do it. So what Minkowski spacetime is, a metric affine space that describes a world like ours, right? Someday we'll do time in Elden Ring, just not yet, right? Dude, Ravnos, touch base with me. No, what is that? Digra. I can look it up. Oh, cool. What the fuck is this, dude? It's literally it literally like just happened. That's what I'm saying. Also, what's up, who? The Quan. What was the other thing, Moobs? I do not remember. YouTube. It's so hard, dude. It's so hard, man. It's hard. Physics is crazy, dude. This is cool. I'm gonna send a paper to this next year. I did not, Booby. Will you remind me? For sure. Remind me at the end of the day. I totally would have fucking spaced, dude. Mubi is my unofficial what you call it. Presented a panel at Digra Brazil. Oh, cool. I see. Yeah, dope. Okay, cool. We can talk about this stuff as much as you like, Pedro, for sure. That would be badass. I mean, I would definitely submit. Okay, so let me pull this up. So usually throughout the day, Frank and I, or John and I for YouTube, we will go back and forth on all kinds of things. One of the things I said today was this.
What would it be like if we started a video that was like, there's a lot of angles going on right now. The alchemical, the architectural, the religious, the cultural, the historical. And all of them are great, but all of them are just scripted, not really explanatory. What we're looking for is a kind of explanatory framework that really helps us to understand what's going on in the game, and helps us to understand the characters and the themes, and everything else, and all the other descriptive elements that are going on in the lore right now.
Baby spotted, yeah, I know.
The game based on two.
What did I say here?
What's going on is a kind of explanatory framework that really helps us to understand what's going on in the game, and helps us to understand the characters and the themes, and everything else, and all the other descriptive elements that are going on in the lore right now.
Okay, that's what I said. We want to understand the characters, the themes, the cultures, and all of the other discursive elements that are making the rounds in current discussions of lore. This is nice. That's right. Exactly. Eyes, what's up, dude? I love that, dude. Also, dude, check this out. I don't think YouTube's seen this shirt. I know that Twitch has, but check this shirt out, dude. This is my newest in my collection. It doesn't help at all, right? It doesn't help at all. This is what we need to get at next, Nature. I'm glad you watched it. What'd you think? Yeah, dude, so I just did Sekiro no hit recently, and it was like the hardest no hit of my career. My dumbass wore a Michel'Ash cage while I was doing it. What's up, Sizer? Okay. I'm gonna Giggy. Just keep reminding me Jolly Cooperation, dude. Oh, thanks, man. I really just really want to, like, it's like literally my job to, like, I know, but Resu, YouTube chat's up here, and Twitch chat's down here. So if you just zoom in up here, up or down there, you can check it out. The way that, dude, you know what's crazy that I didn't think about that, dude? I literally have, like, can I show it? I literally have that tattooed, Giggy. Like Kesha, but British. Good guy, just ate. Okay, yeah, perfect. I'm down. That's true. I want to talk about the golems for sure. I think that the golems are best understood through the new golem deity. So one video that we've been working on is a video that talks about just the actual metals. Metals are actually explanatory because we can do geology. We can actually talk way worse than us. Cool. We can actually talk about how metals interact, what they do, what it would mean to be unalloyed, why we don't wear unalloyed jewelry, right? Because it's too soft, it just breaks apart. Yesterday we talked about the Formless Mother, which we're still getting at. The forge is really cool. Metal, yeah. So like, why verdigris from as a gift from the outer gods? Also, I think YouTube didn't know or didn't see something that we did, and I should take you guys over there. There isn't any lore on it, Pedro, because everybody's so fucking caught up in the bullshit esoteric stuff. Sorry, Steve the John, if you're here. Everybody's so caught up in the bullshit esoteric stuff, and they're like, ooh, it's so mysterious. Ooh. And it's like, it's not that mysterious why we would have the crucible be red gold, right? Yeah, see, exactly, Nature. The oxidation makes so much sense. They're so important. Exactly, Ravnos. We need to talk about some of that for sure. But everybody's obsessed with it, right? Everybody's so obsessed with like, oh, these people in the 16th century really thought that we could make, we could make gold out of lead. It's like, yeah, but like, how does that help me understand the game, right? It's a kind of rose gold. It's like a rusty gold, unbonded gold being preservative. Yeah, it has to be. It has to be, right? I agree with both of those. Also, what's up, Mantis? I agree with both of those. There's so many aspects, right? And so I have to be vigilant. I have to be vigilant. And I have to not watch other people's videos, which makes me sad because I like being tapped into the community. But for right now, I feel like I need to get as many of my big ideas down my way without having to refer to anybody else. Chemistry, Karen, exactly. Don't be a village ant, yeah. Sprite Stone is fucking like slamming me in my face over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Yeah, it's exactly. And so like the thing about the alchemy stuff is like it's a cool kind of shape to put stuff on, right? Like if we had the whole alchemy thing kind of up here, there's nothing about Smith script except for I can tell you all about it and it's super cool. It's basically the two fingers backwards. So like, imagine we had like a board up. So I used to have a whiteboard up here, and maybe I'll get a rolling whiteboard so that I can put a whiteboard back up and make a big screen, and we can actually write on the whiteboard. That's right, Gunslinger. That's correct. Got it, dude. Nicola and unalloyed gold is the exact opposite point on a star map of understanding between cooperation and competition to the Crucible. The Crucible, it rewards in all circumstances competition, right? What is it to be a member of the Crucible? That's a great idea, movie. What is it to be a member of the Crucible? What is it to participate in normalized Crucible behavior? It's to fucking fight all the time. It's to become the strongest, the baddest, the best. Yeah, he doesn't do any. It does completely unalloyed, no alloy at all. And we don't wear that kind of shit because it's too soft and it gets all fucked up, right? And so the idea is that like look at this guy, right? Like look at this motherfucker. Like this guy here, right? This guy, he is who he is because he is as crucible as it gets. I know, it's fucking ridiculous, and so we get to talk about that. And so this particular video, it shows the bipolar. What's up, McFly? It shows the bipolar aspect of the game. Not the duality aspect. Not the duality. Yeah, so a lot of people in my last video said people are so funny in comments, right? People say things like I interpreted it as normalized being mathematical, and I think that mine's more logically correct because normalized in math is that spiral. And it's like, well, like as a philosopher of math, like as a philosopher of mathematics, like yeah. But I'm doing sociology of Elden Ring, and so like the normalization aspect is clear as day when people say things like everybody has fucking braids, everybody. Mikola, Radon. I postulate Ronnie in that video from yesterday. Radagon. And so, like, this guy just is as crucible as it gets, right? This guy just is the crucible, dude. Yeah, philosophy of mathematics is really cool, right? Asking questions like, why is 1 + 1 = 2 under all circumstances? Are there any circumstances where it doesn't occur, right? Like, look what he has. Like, we never looked at any of this stuff, right? Like, he's got, first of all, his shoes are tied really fucking funny. It's not a normal. See, that's what I'm saying. It's not normalized. It's not normalization. But he's got the ropes that are braided in vow around his legs, right? So he has a vow of vengeance. He has the spiral around his kind of the bottom of his thing, right? Everything's alive because he can scream. Yeah, totally. He's got the kind of dragon scales, right? Looking type thing, but like his shoes are definitely made out of leather and they're stitched, which is really cool. He's got this kind of cross hatching in his chainmail. I wish I could get a little bit closer and show you some of the other stuff. We'll have to look at it and then take a picture and zoom in. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Like some of the stuff here is so interesting. Yeah. Dude, Twitch chat's the best, dude. The Western stuff looks so fakey. Yeah, it really does, dude. It really does. It's so funny. So, like, here, let's do this really quick. Also, is it just me or is music not playing for some reason? Did we already finish that album? Holy shit. All right, I'm just gonna play my usual Junko Ohashi, and you guys can drop your stuff. So like here we have oops. His scars are so cool. His eyes are so cool. He's such a actually really cool thing, right? He's got this navy cape, right? But I mean, it's like, it's clear to me that he is as crucible as it comes, right? He's the leader of the Crucible Knights. His axe is like repaired. It has the braided cord at the end, but it's gilded, right? The Smoker was in here earlier. It's really cool, yeah. Smoker was in here earlier and pointed out, oh, hey, these knives, Radon has these in the fight with Mikola. Are they the same? Does Radon have Godfrey's knives in the final fight? Also, are these supposed to be lions or bears? Sure. It's the golden red of the Crucible, right? Yeah, he fucking loved Godfrey, dude. I know, dude. I know, Tech. I know, dude. I know. Fanboy wish fulfillment, dude. Yeah. Warp jump to enter limbo. I have the recording this time. Dude, I know. So octopus is my favorite animal. If I ever get another pet, it will be one, unless my son wants a dog or something, right? But it's for sure a Lovecraftian reference, right? The gold engravings, I don't think they're anywhere else that I know of, but they look like, I mean, they look very Japanese to me. Very Japanese to me. He absolutely would. Yeah, yeah. I would love to have like a big ass, like a big ass tank, like a big ass one. Also, I learned something today about alchemy that explains possibly why Malekith's name is Malekith. The Malekith is the number of steps away from the top of the alchemical trail that you are. Like how close you are to being like top dog, basically. Man, I wish there was a way to see Sarash not like this, you know? I guess they could be. I don't see them as horns, though. I see them as kind of like, tentacles or something. I guess they could be. Yeah, me too. Me too. Okay, let's pull up Rodon real quick. I think I do have a close-up shot on him. Or actually, here, before we do this, let me finish typing this out. What did I say?
Ultimately, Elden Ring is a game based on all the other descriptive elements that are going around in the lore right now. Ultimately, Elden.
Oh, this sounds like a transition. So I like to send these voice messages. It was an Electrum water lily. That's super cool. Just bloodthirsty. Yeah. It's true. It's true.
Ring is a game based on two opposing ideas. One being cooperation, and the other being competition. Competition and cooperation are things that come up in all of these themes throughout all of the different possible descriptions of the game. How are we supposed to understand each aspect of the game in terms of cooperation and competition? Well, let's start with ourselves, the Tarnish, and then by talking about the difference between America and Mikola.
That's pretty good. It does have that thing, right? I think so. I think that's right. I think that's right. The kindness stuff is so interesting, dude. It's so interesting. So something that I like about cooperation, also welcome to Bravka, we love you, you're what plants crave. Something that I really love about the spirals everywhere, yeah, totally, dude. Something that I love about the cooperation and competition is that this, of course, transcends to every Dark Souls game. The basis for cooperation. Yeah. It's just like kin. It's just like kin. Exactly. Okay, so let's start from the top really quick. So for YouTube that's new to this, the term community. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. I'll capitalize SC. Okay, so something that I like to do when I'm writing this stuff is that like when I write generally, I'll just start at the top again and then go down and read it, and then start at the top again and then go down and read it, start at the top again, go down and read it. It takes a while sometimes, and we're looking for 4,250 words approximately. That's our video length. 30 minutes at my speaking voice is about 4,250. So when we start to reach that, we've gone too far, and then we start to pare it back, and then we fill it up, we pare it back, and things like that. And then if we have to move back to outline, we will, right, and things like that. Okay, let's see. I like the idea of a false etymology. Okay, we have the lore of Elden Ring is incredibly difficult to decipher. Once we begin to make heads or tails of this or that, a new question arises. Once we find a solution for this, a new problem is posed, wondering about that. This means that a lot of lore turns out to be descriptive instead of explanatory. In short, a lot of statements in different lore videos take the form of this thing in the game is like this thing in real life, as opposed to this is we'll say it like this thing in the game is like this thing in real life because. How do you feel about that, Karen? Yeah, 4,250. Well, it's because I do a lot of conferences, right? So if I'm going to give a 30-minute speech, like if I'm gonna give a 30-minute speech and I'm gonna if I'm gonna have if it's say it's a 1 hour thing and I have to talk for 30 minutes and have 30 minutes of Q&A, I'm gonna shoot for like 4,000 words because that gives me time to pause and chill and react, and you never know if people are gonna like yell out or anything like that, right? So like 4,000 on 30, but since I know I can pace myself and I don't have to put any like kind of like time limit on audience engagement, 4,250 is my solid 30 minutes. I went 5,000 for the last one. It was about 41 minutes, and I regret it. I wish I would have stayed in the 30. This is for the next video. Thunderous applause, exactly. So it's really funny, dude. Like I have what always happens to me at conferences or stuff is at the end, like the person I expect least in the room comes up to me and is like, I really love this work. I really love that work. And it's always really strange, you know. It's always really strange. Okay, the lore of Elden Ring is incredibly difficult to decipher. Once we begin to make heads or tails of this or that, a new question arises. Once we find a solution for this, a new problem is posed, wondering about that. That seems fine to me. This means that a lot of lore turns out to be descriptive instead of explanatory. In short, a lot of statements in different lore videos take the form this thing in the game is like this thing in real life, as opposed to this thing in the game is like this thing in real life because. The problem is that statements in the form of this is like this aren't extremely helpful for understanding. In many cases, we already know this thing in the game is like this thing in real life. Often, we're beat over the head with it from every direction. See, this is where I start to sound like an asshole, right? Yeah. We'll sort it out. Yeah, we'll sort it all out. Yeah. For sure, Karen. You're my official sorter outer. What we want to know, of course, is why this or that theme is chosen in a way that offers a satisfying explanation. We want an explanation we can hang our hats on, if only for a minute, and revel in the majesty of the art. Nah, that's stupid. That's what we want, though, right? We want to watch a video and be like, ah, yeah, cool. Like, that makes sense why they would pick this thing, right? It makes sense why they would go to alchemy, right? Like, to tell me, like, well, in alchemy there's a rebus that has, like, this general kind of thing about dualities. Like, okay, but why do we want to know about dualities, right? Well, we want to know about dualities because it seems like everything that comes into existence, right? Everything that comes into existence kind of comes into existence with its opposite in the real world, right? And so, like, choosing this thing and that thing, right, is not just to rely on Hegel, right, or to rely on alchemy. All right, Noger. Yeah, totally. I'm really working on being kind of colloquial creeps, and it's hard, dude. It's hard. Because I'm an asshole, right? Okay, so this is... Karen's gonna fix this. It pauses for us, dude. Also, I know that you have messages at the bottom, Frank. I just haven't read them yet.
See, this is something I feel like we understand.
Okay, yeah, good. On one hand, Elden Ring's a game, a work of art. And so we can always wave our hands and say this is like this because Miyazaki intended it to be. But this isn't satisfying. This isn't satisfying in the least. On the other hand, we can dismiss certain kinds of inquiry by saying this is an oversight. It's not like this for any particular reason. This is also incredibly unsatisfying. In order to make heads or tails of this, of the first principles of the game, I'm gonna use the phrase. We must start with the assumption there's some philosophical language, right? There's some philosophical language. Yeah. We'll definitely go through it. Yeah, no repeats. Song block, dude. On one hand, Elden Ring is a game, a work of art. And so we can always wave our hands and say that this is like this because Miyazaki intended it to be. But this isn't satisfying in the least. On the other hand, we can dismiss certain kinds of inquiry by saying this is an oversight. It's not like this for any particular reason. This is also incredibly unsatisfying. I'll make this new. In order to make heads or tails of the first principles of the lands between, and now the land of shadow, both of these kinds of claims have to be dismissed. We must start with the assumption that each object is placed with intent, but that the intent of its placement is not its explanation. Likewise, we must assume that every object, aside from its intent, has a reason that it's placed, as a reason that it's placed here or there, which connects it to the reasons that everything else is placed how it is. We must assume that, we must assume that the world hangs together, right? Yeah, it's just starting, dude. It's just starting. I like this. This feels good, right? This feels good, right? I'm trying to tell everybody, like, look, in order to do the things that we're doing, right? Like what I'm doing with Frank, what we're doing, dude. Yeah, Ranka, you like it? I'm trying to like teach the world good, cool shit without being like, and then Weber said, and then Aristotle said, right? I'm just going to use shit like people understand what I'm talking about and they're going to be fine, right? I'm not going to explain first principles. I'm not going to explain cohesion. I'm not going to explain solidarity, right? I'm just going to I'm just going to drop it and slowly it will it'll float out into everything, yeah. So what I want to say, so for example, Jonathan, yeah, exactly, Gunslinger, exactly. It's really hard because a lot of times we kind of hand wave it, and people do this in real theory too. So yeah, something like the world is coherent. So the idea that the world hangs together, right? This is an old phrase. This is an old philosophical kind of aphorism. And it basically just means, like, to do metaphysics, we have to start with the assumption that causation exists and things like that, right? Figuring out lore, yeah. I forget who said it originally, actually, but I can look it up and we can see. Who said it? Oh, Sellers. So Wilfred Sellers says, it's really fucking cool. Let's see if I can get the kind of the best version of it. See if we can get the whole quote here. Wilfred Sellers says, the aim of philosophy, abstractly formulated, is to understand how things, in the broadest possible sense of the term, hang together in the broadest possible sense of the term, right? Knuckleus, kill him in the dick, dude, not my problem. And so, yeah, exactly, Amhu. The game itself has to, it is cohesive, and, like, it's cool to know that the world, that the game refers to things outside, but the world refers to outside things in order to make itself coherent, right? Really coherent, right? Exactly, Creep, exactly. And so we really want this, right? Me too. I love them, dude. Bruin, you did it, dude. I love it, dude. I'm so happy for you. Okay, in order to make heads or tails of the first principles of the lands between and now the land of shadow, both of these kinds of claims have to be dismissed. We must start with the assumption that each object is placed with intent, but that the intent of its placement is not its explanation. Likewise, we must assume that every object, aside from its intent, has a reason that it's placed here or there, which connects it to the reasons that everything else is placed. We must assume that the world hangs together in itself, for itself, and not simply as a multitude of references to the quote unquote real world. That's what we want to say. So so Miyazaki has a degree in sociology, and a lot of people don't talk about Miyazaki's sociology degree. And something that made me feel like I could really offer something interesting to this whole world is that I am a sociologist, and his sociology is so prevalent. So, like, something that I want to hammer home soon is that for making Gaius. Something that I want to hammer home soon about his sociological kind of thing is that the difference between the crucible and the Erd tree is the difference between organic and mechanical solidarity. I will not. You did literally. You fucking changed my thing. Yeah, sociophilosophist. Yeah. So I think of what I do as doing social philosophy. I ask questions about, like, what the nature of groups are and things like that, right? What's the difference between playing music together and being in a band, right? Stuff like that. But the interesting thing about it is that there's all this kind of so the two kinds of solidarity come from Emil Durkheim, and he basically says, look, there's two ways to hang groups together. He says we can hang groups together by putting a bunch of people who are the same together, or we can put a bunch of people who are different together. So we can, so mechanical solidarity is the kind of solidarity that happens when you hang groups together according to sameness principles, right? So if you have a voting group that's white males between the age of 35 and 45 who all vote conservative and all wear red hats, for example, they're mechanically solidaritous with each other. They're what's called the weak kind of cohesive, right? And they're weakly cohesive because they can't benefit each other by interlocking like puzzle pieces to help each other out. And when you see mechanical solidarity in the real world, it feels strange, right? And it feels strange because everybody's the same, and so like they don't have anything to offer each other as individuals, as members of the group. And because they don't have anything to offer each other as members of the group falls apart very easily. And pretty much all kinds of exactly. So you maybe don't want to go all the way to Outcasts, but we can get close there, right? You should read Weber and Durkheim. What's up, Corey, dude? Yeah, dude, it's fun, man. We're having a good time. Masters in Anthro? Yeah. So he is very sociologically relevant. And so organic solidarity is the kind of solidarity that happens, one kind of quote-unquote organically is one use of the word, but the other thing is that it's like a body, right? So a body is not mechanically solidaritous. If it was, it wouldn't be called a body, right? It would just be a bunch of the same shit linked together, right? So like if we had only a bunch of heads, say, that would be a mechanically solidaritous thing. That wouldn't be alive, right? If we only had a bunch of heads, right? But if we, exactly. And so he talks about friend groups and families, and so he says the origin of the group, right, the origin of the social is the division of labor across things, and we divide the labor either mechanically or solidaritously. He says Marx is talking about a mechanical division of labor when we talk about like alienation and exploitation happening in factories where people are then universalized so that we can trade nodes, right? So if I'm just like pulling a lever and pushing a button on a factory floor, if I die, they're going to replace me the next day. If somebody else comes in and says, I'll take less money to do that same thing, they'll replace me because the quality won't change because we're all the same. We're just nodes on a sameness bench, right? But in previous modes of production, we all would have been different, right? You can't replace me so easily because I know how to make a whole set of boots very, like, well and things like that, right? And so he says, like, imagine a group of friends where, that's what my worry is, Frank. And so, like, imagine, so over on Twitch, we have Marx emotes. So I teach Marxian theory. I have for a lot of years, right? That's what I'm talking about, Gunslinger. Exactly. And so the look at you guys using the words, dude. I'm so fucking proud of you. And so the oh yeah, there you go. Scope chat. I actually am using my my cup holder of the day. My cousin for Christmas got me like a 10 stack of philosophers. It's about heterogeneous versus homogeneous mixtures. And we can see that the mixture in what makes saints is organic for a reason, right? Hey, it's Prof. And so the big idea is, yeah, it's funny, right? So the big idea is something like, imagine a friend group, right? And if you really look carefully, Pickle Marx is the best. If you really look carefully at friend groups that you want to be a part of, you don't want, or teams you want to be a part of, you don't want everybody to be the same build and have the same dispositions and the same emotional content and the same intelligence level and things like that. Otherwise, you just breed insane competition. Because everybody is competing to be the node that's filled because all the nodes would be the same, right? But you get competition that's not valuable, right? Like it's not valuable because there's no actual benefit for being the individual that's selected. Because there's nothing that distinguishes you from other individuals. So it doesn't matter, right? So what you want is you want one friend, totally, dude. So you want one friend who's very strong and brave, maybe not as smart, right? You want one friend who's very smart and maybe not as strong and not as brave, right? And they kind of course, Karen. And they kind of like give each other their traits, right? And they kind of like bring each other together. And then you have one friend who is very inquisitive but doesn't come to solutions, and another friend who doesn't ask a lot of questions, but when questions are presented, they're very good at sorting it out, right? Rexy, for sure. And so he says these are what groups are. He says, but groups can't be predicated on opposite moral stances under any circumstances. He says the meek and the brave can commingle as long as they are both good. that an evil person and a good person will never commingle in the same organically solidarities group. They don't have anything to exchange, right? Oh, interesting. And so organically solidarities is what we want, right? So we have this kind of like, you know, like we're organic. Yeah, it's feng shui, it's balance, exactly. And so you can start to see this kind of thing going on, right? In the lands between, for sure. In the land of shadow, not as much, right? Everybody is in the land of shadow, right? We have this kind of it starts out organically solidarities and it moves mechanically solidarities as people come to find certain aspects of the crucible to be holy, right? So if you're horned, right, that's a whole thing, right? Also, why is nobody talking about how the golden hippo is domesticated by Mesmer? I only knew that, Frank, from all right, enjoy, Quinn. I only knew that because of what's the difference, Amps? I only knew that